Right, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining me here at www.turndogmillionaire.com. I'm here with Ekin from Buycom, and we are going to look specifically at the PlayGo brand. I came across PlayGo on Kickstarter, as I come across so many startups that I find these days. Fantastic site. If you haven't seen it, you should. And I'm going to ask Ekin today a little bit about what's going on at PlayGo and Buycom and try and delve into what their brand's all about. So I'm going to welcome you to Ekin, and please start things off by giving us a quick overview about who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Matthew, for having us. So I'll give you a little background about Buycom and PlayGo. Buycom is an engineering firm that was established by my father back in 1988. Our premise has always been to work with digital signal processing. So our expertise is sound processing, and we've been a design firm for all these years. In 2007, we started developing. Most of our applications up to that point were in telecommunications, and I've been always passionate about music, so started applying some of our technology into the audio side of things, and that's where we started developing new products. And that's kind of where PlayGo came from. We did a lot of R&D with wireless and Ethernet-based distribution of media. And when we started working on that, a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, wish there was a simple way to connect my laptop to my hi-fi system." And that's where the ideas for PlayGo came about. And the PlayGo brand is built on the premise of really simple and accessible, high-quality media distribution. And the first application of that is for wireless audio distribution.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're seeing quite a lot of products these days taking on the wireless challenge. It's fantastic. Certainly good to get rid of all the clutter in the wires. So before we move on to a bit more about PlayGo, how do PlayGo and Buycom stand side by side? How does the branding work? Do you see yourself as, do you like to see the Buycom aligned with PlayGo, or is it very much a separated thing?
Yeah, you can almost think of Buycom as the engineering power behind all the different brands that we've developed. So Buycom is the engineering resource, and then taking a little bit of that technology, we've created this PlayGo brand. There's another brand that we created called Zoet, which is geared towards very, very high quality distribution of Ethernet-based audio, and PlayGo is our wireless audio and more accessible system. So the Buycom main focus is to develop technology and apply these different technologies for our customers, and our customers at the Buycom level are for OEMs. So one of our biggest customers is Samsung. We design technology for them that they integrate into their own products, and then they brand as Samsung, and then they sell those. PlayGo and Zoet as well are our first attempts at creating our own brand, and they're also good showcases for the technology that we've developed. So that when we go to a company like Samsung, we can say, "Oh, we've developed this technology. This is accessible at this higher level, but it can be applied and integrated into your products as well based on your necessities."
Okay, so I suppose Buycom's very much playing the behind the scenes part, whereas PlayGo is more consumer based.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the PlayGo product, we're seeing quite a lot of products like PlayGo at the minute. So what is it that makes your product stand out to the rest of them, and just how is it being in quite a competitive market?
Yeah, it's a very competitive market. One of the biggest differentiators for us was the ease of use was really key to this. And secondary, well, two primary uses, I guess, the ease of use and the sound quality were two things that we were willing to waver on. So when we were designing this, actually, my mother was our first test case. It was key to be able to just put the PlayGo right in front of her and said, "Okay, make it work, please." And she was able to figure it out, which put a smile on my face because I knew that this is finally something that could be accepted by a lot of people and easily integrate into many homes. And then on top of this, being able to do this in a very high quality way, we didn't compromise on the circuitry that went into this. It's usually found in audio systems that sell in the thousands of dollars. So we really put a lot of value into the quality and the ease of use for the product.
Fantastic. I was searching on the website last night and I came across something I absolutely love in more of the sort of core values of the brand. And if anyone hasn't seen it, it is simplicity and accessibility, which is something that I hold quite dear. It's some of my core values is to share and to be open and transparent. So just how big of a part does this play in the PlayGo brand?
The you nailed it right there. We wanted to make this as simple to use as possible because there's a lot of products on the market that promise plug and play, but if you look at our reviews and you'll clearly see that the critics have been loving the fact that it's simply that easy. There was a recent review that we had where apparently the manual didn't ship in the package, and they said they didn't even need it at all. They just plugged it in, lit up green when it's in sync. It's green, it's ready to go, and you press play, and then the green starts pulsing, and you're listening to audio. It's that simple. And then on the accessibility side of things, our first product in the PlayGo lineup was for built out of Korean, so it wasn't a super low cost product because it was built and machined, and each one was hand finished. But now what we're trying to do is bring this into plastic in a more manufacturable way. So we want to make it even more accessible so that more of a customer base can be exposed to this product.
Fantastic. I think you hit the nail on the head earlier by passing the parent test. I know that if my mum and dad can figure something out technology-wise, then it is very easy to work. They usually get stumped quite easily.
Yeah, always a good test case, I think.
Definitely.
And I see my mom; she uses her iPhone or iPad, and she can use PlayGo, and that makes me feel like okay, we're doing something right then.
Nice. If you're on a par with Apple, that is always good.
That's right.
So moving on to the brand side behind PlayGo, what was the thought process behind that? Why did you come up with the name, and what's the story behind the logo and the colours and everything? You obviously had the Bicom brand, and how did that play a part? Because they are quite different in terms of the style and the energy that they give off.
Right. Well, like I was mentioned before, with Bicom, it's more of a business-to-business brand. So we don't want to expose the Bicom brand for the customer. It may bring in complexity, and especially because we're based on engineering products. So we realized we needed to have this product under a new brand. And PlayGo, we thought of a lot of different names and looked at trademarks that were available, and we picked PlayGo because it does kind of have a simple and almost toyish sound to it. So it doesn't make it sound like the PlayGo 2000 internet audio device. We need it to be a friendly and accessible product name. So that was key for us. And then the colors that our graphic designer created for this brand are ones that are warm, and it seems like you want to play with the product, and that's really the whole point of it. The logo is based out of that same premise too. If you look at it, it's a play icon, but it's also an arrow at the same time. So it's you press play and you go. That's the mindset that we wanted to show to the users.
Okay, I'm going to be placing links and everything below this video, so anyone watching this, please click on through to the website and take a look around about the brand and see what it made you feel, because obviously that's a big part of the brand process. So if you mentioned a little bit about the customer side of things, who do you see as the target market for the PlayGo product? Is it high-end exclusive, or you obviously say accessible? Is it something that you think could be aimed at sort of teenagers, young adults, or is it more for the audiophile person?
That's really interesting, this question. The target demographic that we had in mind when we created the first PlayGo product, the PlayGo USB last summer that came out, the early adopters of these products are always generally into technology, and their audiophile crowd. They love these kind of products because they like to play with all these kind of different devices on the market. And we love those customers too, because that's our early feedback. But our real target demographic is to be able to get to customers like my mother
Mm.
who value nice quality build, ease of use, high quality sound quality. Um, but that's a harder market to work your way into because it's a whole different market process that you have to go through. So we've been focusing on kind of design centric uh, websites and magazines. For instance, we did a little campaign on Dwell magazine because we wanted to show this as a device that you would want to have in your home because of its design, and it's made out of Corian, and it's a pretty design. We think it lights up nice way. It's easy to use. It's got a nice feel to it. So it's not just about the sound quality, and there's other things that we want to pull a different kind of crowd there. So it's been an interesting process, but we've been learning a lot of things. So you start with the audiophile crowd as your early to get the ball rolling, but then as you get some more market exposure, then these design savvy, especially tech and design savvy crowd starts coming along too.
Is that one of the reasons? Because I found you via Kickstarter. Is that one of the reasons you went into Kickstart? Because I find a lot of brands, it might just be my perception, they're not on there so much about getting the funding. It's just a fantastic way to be noticed in front of, well, millions of people quite often. And if you get money, I feel like that's an added bonus for a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. We thought of Kickstarter as a perfect this focus group,
Mm.
and there's no better focus group where than the one that actually is making their vote with their wallet. So if they're actually backing this product and say, "Hey, I want this thing," then that person really believes in the product. Because in the past we've done this, focus groups, and we get good feedback on it, but then it doesn't match one to one on who's going to be buying this. So we thought it's a great platform to try this product, and this product was much lower cost than what we had anticipated to do PlayGo with, and we would only be able to do it if we really got that critical mass to come after it. And so Kickstarter has been a great reveal on what the potential is of that market for this product.
Yeah, I feel Kickstarter have inadvertently become quite big on market research. I feel a lot of people are going to start using that more and more in the future. Do you like the whole concept of crowdfunding and crowdsourcing? Is that something you might sort of take into future products, whether it's to do with the design or the brand or the actual product itself?
That's a good question. I think with certain products that you're not positive if it fits in your roadmap or not, it's a great test market. There's certain things in our roadmap that we know we need to do no matter what because of feedback from our distributors or just looking at reviews. So there's certain things that you have to do for your technology development, and those I think we'll always keep doing. On the crowdsourcing side of things, for products that we're unsure of if it could go forward or not, crowdsourcing is a great way to figure that out.
Hmm. I've seen it more and more. I think crowdsourcing is a fantastic way to go in a lot of industries. It's a good way to, like you say, get early feedback from the people out there who are ultimately going to buy your product. And if they're willing to spend the cash there and then, it's a good sign that it's wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, even companies like Apple, they'll have a pre-order. Most of the products come out right now at the release date, but they'll have a pre-order. So that I'm sure determines what their forecast is going to be. If not after launch, they can get a pretty good idea of 6 months down the line how many should we be making of these products. So the pre-order and crowdsourcing makes a lot of sense.
Okay, you mentioned earlier about being in some magazines and everything. So, how else have you got the message out so far? Has it been through press releases and trying to just get a PR campaign, or are you trying to use a few other things?
Yeah, the Kickstarter platform on its own for this new product it has been amazing. Just even getting something on Kickstarter gets so much exposure nowadays, especially certain design and tech products.
Hmm.
So just doing that alone got the ball rolling. But then we had social campaigns. We did a press release, and of course the Facebook and Twitter side of things, doing those campaigns as well as newsletters. I really got the ball rolling, and then every week there's a request from some other really interesting media outlet, and just following up on all of those really what makes sense for the brand, and selecting those kind of targets.
It must be a different direction to Bicom because it's very much a B2B brand and it's not very sort of consumer focused. It's behind the scenes. Have you had to really, really jig how you do the marketing side of things to get the PlayGo word out there? Has it been a bit of a test for you and the other people at the company?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting learning experience. The PlayGo brand is almost a year old now, and it's been a great learning experience. Our regular customer is a big company, so we go there, we do proposals and things like this. Now we're trying to make a product that has mass appeal and trying to get that word out to the thousands, tens of thousands of customers. So it's definitely a new experience for us, and challenging, but very thrilling at the same time because we get a lot more feedback than we've ever had before. So, uh, and that's tough for an engineering firm too because we want to please everyone. So every day we're getting different emails like, "Oh, why don't you guys add this feature?" And you start thinking, "Oh, like maybe I should add that feature."
You can never quite please everyone, can you?
No, no, it's challenging. So it's making us more disciplined, I think, in the long run. So it's been a great experience for sure.
Good. Has it made you reevaluate certain things and maybe consider taking the Bicon brand down a similar route? We're seeing more what I consider house of brand companies, people like P&G, for instance, over in England, having a big push sponsoring the mothers for the Olympics.
Yeah,
We're seeing more sort of big household names who 10 years ago you wouldn't have known, but you would have known the brands.
yeah.
Obviously, Bicom fits into that category. Do you have any ambition of making Bicom more consumer focused in the future, or are you just happy being the house of brands?
What we've done with our positioning with the different brands is everything's still under the Bicom brand as the main brand. So even if you look at the PlayGo website, you'll see PlayGo a Bicom brand. Zoet is the same thing; it's a Bicom brand. It's critical for us to make Bicom the technology house that's feeding this and other companies, and we want to see if hopefully we can get the PlayGo and Zoet brands to be self-sustaining on their own. Maybe then they could even work away from that brand. But Bicom is going to be solely focused on business to business for the time being, and as a technology developer.
Okay, fantastic. So, what does the future now hold for PlayGo? When can we expect to start seeing it sort of shipping, and how's the Kickstarter campaign affected it, if any?
Yeah, well, PlayGo started shipping last year. It's getting into more and more international distribution. So the PlayGo brand has kicked off, and that's in distribution, and we've got some interesting products coming in the pipeline for this fall. The AP1 is a new product that we're testing out on Kickstarter. The PlayGo AP1 is focused on, unlike the PlayGo USB, which is getting its music from your laptop, be it your PC or Mac, the new PlayGo AP1 that we have on Kickstarter gets its music sourced from your iPhone or your Android phone. So you stream directly from your mobile phone to your stereo, which is just this is a PlayGo AP1 receiver.
Oh, fantastic! It's
Uh,
it's
and
nice and small. It's good.
yeah, it's something that you don't mind putting on the next to your stereo.
Yeah.
And so the Kickstarter campaign started out really strong, and then people slowed down, and we hear that towards the end of the campaign it should speed up again. But if it doesn't happen, we're going to look at the feedback and decide what to do with that product. We spent a lot of money already to develop it to this point, but sometimes if you don't have the market for it, it doesn't make sense. So then we'll focus on the other products in the PlayGo line that we do have demand for, and build a roadmap out of that more. So it's been a great test market. There's a lot of passionate people that do want this version that we're showing on Kickstarter, and hopefully we'll get the funding and move forward. If not, it's going to be a great experience either way. It'll help us really figure out which way we should move forward with the brand.
Fantastic. Have you had thoughts about moving into other directions from on the wireless side of things? We're seeing more and more things now with smart TVs and things like the Apple TV where wireless is playing such a huge role. Is that something Bicom might be interested in delving down, or are you solely on the audio side for now?
No, we do definitely believe that it's about media distribution. Audio made a lot of sense to step into it because of the lower cost of entry. But as the brand gets awareness, and as we design some new things, and we have some cool stuff in the lab right now, we want to get into whole wide media. It's not just limited to audio, but the video side of things is definitely in our mindset too.
From a tech geek's point of view, I think I'd have a lot of fun in your lab. I think there'd be some very interesting things going on.
I think so too.
Who knows? We might get a future product sitting alongside an Apple TV in the next year or two.
I hope so.
Right, well, that pretty much draws everything to an end. So, massive thanks to Ekin for coming on and speaking to us today. Please, if you're watching this, click through to his website below and follow him on Twitter and everything like that. I'm going to put all the links below. If you're watching this on YouTube or another site, click through to turndogmillionaire.com and then you'll find all the links below that. So just to finish off, Ekin, could you, in 3 words, describe the PlayGo brand? What describes its characteristics?
Well, right now, in its current form, since we are audio centric, to start, we say perfect wireless audio. That's our premise.
And in the future, it could be perfect wireless images.
That's right.
Thank you.
It's very flexible. See, Matthew.
I like it. It's got legs. I'm always happy when a brand's got legs. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Viewer, for joining us both on what I hope you found a very interesting interview. Please click through to the PlayGo website and check out the rest of Bicom. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right. Cheers.